Andros, CEO, co-founder of Growth Terminal. You're helping us get distribution on the social medias using hopefully tasteful automation. Am I getting that right?
That's right. Great to be here. Great to see you guys. A lot of what we do is basically trying to kill AI slop. Our thesis is basically that AI is going to make it possible for everyone to build whatever they want, but to grow is going to be another thing. And that's what we focus on. We focus on helping companies and brands sort of build their distribution, and we focus on basically helping them grow an audience on social media. There's a lot in sort of like distribution, so to speak. For engineering, obviously, it's very much like building databases, building front ends, etc. But for marketing, there's SEO, there's influencer marketing, there's so many different things, and we basically right now currently are trying to recreate the AI marketer, but focusing on social media, specifically Twitter and LinkedIn right now.
So, Serp, I don't know if your replies are like mine. I'm assuming they are. They are utter fucking garbage because of and for whatever reason, I think people think that, oh, if I just show up regularly, this is going to build some sort of affinity between that tall guy and random XYZ account on Twitter. And it does the exact opposite. Like if I didn't think that replying to them and telling them to go fuck themselves would actually just lead to like 10x more bots showing up into my account, I would do it every single time. So please tell me you are not responsible for this, Andros.
We are not. So a lot of what we try to do is using AI to basically help you source the right post to sort of reply to. So maybe that's keywords, maybe that's like people posting in the communities, maybe you're tracking a particular user. But we really, we're not making it so that people are just like replying en masse like that. Definitely, in my opinion, that does not work. The point of actually like replying is to get people liking your replies and seeing your replies, right? So it has to be good, it has to be funny, it has to be like insightful. And basically what happens when people like or view sort of like your reply is that they're also more likely to see your post. So like if you like someone's reply, you're also more likely to see them posting content, and that's how the account to grow, right? So if you just spam like GM or that's so right or oh my god, love this point,
Trust is
that's
so
not gonna
important on the
work.
internet in 2025.
Exactly.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Yeah, no, I get a lot of the slop replies, but it's funny because it sounds like you're kind of turning the cookbook on how to grow a CT account into something more automated, which does make sense. I like all of these things I've heard you say so far in terms of reply guying, right? Being a reply guy is one of the best ways to grow your account. Getting them to like it, getting them to engage with your content. And we've seen some of the slop guy, I call them slop daddies. We see some of the slop daddies like find ways to like try to engage more, right? It's like it's not just that they're replying, it's that they like reply with a question. And then like my favorite is watching other like humans get like lured into the like slop daddy and reply. But yeah, I imagine this is like obviously a clear problem, like very, very clear problem. It's cool that you're kind of thinking about how to help teams grow around it as a strength too. And I'd be curious, like where does your formula come from? Like where did you start from in terms of how to think about how do you actually grow accounts or how do you market for teams in very tasteful ways?
Yeah, so I think a lot of what we drew from is just like analyzing, a bunch of how accounts that we admire, basically, and basically thinking through, okay, what is the content that there's a couple of types, right? There's like the kind of personality that is just really funny, and they just kind of like are able to shit post or meme their way into growth. That's something that we would eventually like to do, but unfortunately, like as we all know, AI is not funny. And so there's the other kind of emerging type, which funnily enough, Nikita Beard just like literally, I think like half an hour ago, made like another post about this, but he's kind of really trying to rein the platform back in instead of like rage bait or like controversy. It's a lot more of like, hey, like give me insights, give me something helpful. Talk about your niche, and that's kind of the sort of, I guess, content that we help people make is like what are the trending topics in your niche, whether that's crypto, whether that's like e-commerce, B2B SaaS, And then, what is your brand voice? What are your brand pillars? What do you like talking about? What are your sort of mission statements? And then combine all of that context, and then basically create posts that hopefully don't sound like generic trash. We worked very hard to actually like make it so that the posts don't include M dashes or do any of the "it's not X, it's Y" kind of sort of tropes. So yeah, that's a lot of what we do, is just like context engineering, which in AI right now is kind of the buzzword.
It is interesting because like the one example I can think of where the AI does really well is AI XPT. It is
Hmm.
good at sounding like a degen. It is good at replying with relevant data. Like I have no idea how they did it, and they did it 8, 10 months ago. Like it's fascinating to see how
Yeah.
some people have really mastered it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually one of the first, sort of one of the accounts that we really looked at, is like, how did they sound like it? And I think what they did is basically, just scrape all the tweets of the degens and then just combine that voice. And we kind of sort of emulated that by like scraping a user's past tweets, but also making it possible, for example, for you to say like, hey, I like how, Jess sounds, or I like how Nikita Beer sounds, and then combine that into a voice. It's quite interesting. Sometimes you get like very different, if you like combine two different types of voices, like someone might be like, oh, just complete shit poster, versus someone who's like deep analysis into, some coin or whatever. You get some, like, the AI gets confused. It's like, oh, I don't, what do I do here? And then it'll spit out a shit post, and it'll spit out like some technical analysis. But yeah,
Technical shit
usually being
posts.
able to
Technical shit
technical
posts.
shippers, yeah,
All right, so
exactly.
I want to. I mean, you've obviously spent a bunch of time diving into the algorithms and how to be successful, as you just said on I believe X, and I think you've done LinkedIn as well. I'm wondering
Yeah,
if you
X and
can,
LinkedIn. Yeah.
yeah, can you give us the playbook, the like, what's the TLDR on how we should be approaching this? Because we started this 11am.club account a month and a half ago, starting from zero. Felt like we have 40 plus thousand people in the C Club account. It's kind of a maybe a dumb idea to start an account fresh in the age of 2025. Definitely a daunting task. So lots of people are doing that, especially if you're just starting your business today. How do we go and give people a head start there?
I think now is better than ever. Kind of Elon and obviously like Nikita have really emphasized like the fact that I mean, everyone is basically moving towards the TikTokification, right? Which basically means it doesn't matter how big your following is. It actually is all based on algorithm, right? So like each post itself is judged by its own. And what that means is, okay, if you post consistently, so on Twitter, that's 2 to 3 times a day, do not go to like 8 to 10 times. That will basically flag yourself as spam. And then if people, stay on your tweet or thread for like over 2 seconds, if people watch your video, so that's kind of why like media is becoming more and more important. Those are some of the factors where where your post will get pushed to algorithm. Usually it gets pushed to like your followers, and if they like it, and if people who are highly connected, so people who have obviously lots of followers, if they like and retweet and save or quote, bookmarks and quotes are actually pretty important. Then basically, you get pushed beyond your following. So that's a lot of how the algorithm works. Obviously, like, to make the content do that is the hard part. But yeah, that's basically how the algorithm works.
And is that the same on LinkedIn? Like, I haven't had my head in that corporate wasteland for a
Yeah.
while.
LinkedIn is very interesting. I think LinkedIn is all about shots on goal. They are also moving towards algorithmic sort of feed, but it's way slower. So like I'll see posts that go viral a week later, and I think that's just because there maybe aren't enough pieces of content, or because people don't post enough. But I think people are starting to realize that, oh, there's arbitrage in LinkedIn, because obviously like it's even more slop there. Like the content quality is even lower on LinkedIn. So it's easier to stand out.
Surf, I'm curious what your Twitter strategy is. I mean, you're building a product. You're obviously very public and building your personal brand as well. How have you approached
Mhm.
it? And I'm curious if there's some insights from Andros here that you've applied.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of a throw shit at the wall and see what sticks person. So, yeah, I mean, things like thinking too much about like tweeting too much in a single day or something is something that I've tried to be more thoughtful about. Um, I definitely have optimized my strategy around simplicity. Like, even though it might not get someone to look for like 10 seconds, like make the line in 2 lines, right? Make your post in 2 lines, basically. And so those are some of the things that I've been trying to think about a lot. And I mean, this is the world, the internet. The internet's oldest problem of like how do you optimize eyeballs to look at whatever you're doing, and so it is really interesting to see we have this future of like agentic AI competing against algorithms where like in theory agentic AI should be better at testing, optimizing, and kind of making the best possible outcomes without necessarily like better than we would as humans, just like kind of subjectively looking at
We need that
things.
feedback loop, right? So, and even
Yeah.
Grok isn't really deeply integrated into X in the way that you'd kind of think it would. Like, you can't get unique insights on growth from Grok, which I would assume would be like the tightest alignment between like the algorithm, the feed, and like the data. So I'm curious, Andrew. So are there sort of feedback loops that you guys are pulling in that are really helping your product be far more effective at directing us in the right way?
Yeah, I think, and unfortunately, like that is the opportunity for us. That Grok is not integrating Twitter, but yeah, a lot of what we do is basically looking at what a user has posted, and then figuring out, okay, did this actually like get X number of likes? Did this get enough views? What kind of format was it? And then feeding that back in. Evals are kind of like a big thing in AI right now, and that feedback loop is a lot of what we're trying to optimize. But sometimes the algorithm also does interesting things. It will just like obviously push out something that you spent 2 minutes on, and maybe it's a meme, and it will get viral. And then the thread that you spent like 10 minutes, like 2 hours researching will get no likes. But we're trying to optimize that and make sure that the more time you spend on it, the more sort of like insights you give, like the more better the reaction.
So we have a unique strategy here. Unique. We have a strategy with 11 a.m. where we get to speak to 3, 4 awesome guests every single day, and create a ton of clips. Like, and the goal really is to give these founders great media that they can use on their own timelines, and of course, we also want to use it to grow the reach and distribution of 11am.club. But one of the core debates that I've been having with our team is around like the frequency strategy, right? And so right now we are taking a lot of shots on net, and I think it's probably at least 9 clips go out every single day. Is that
Wow.
hurting us? Should we really be trying to optimize for some more quality in what we post? Not to say those aren't quality, but like fewer shots, I guess, to try to get more attention on them.
I feel like with clips, it is a little bit different. So obviously, like the algorithm is really pushing clips. Clipping obviously is a whole big meta right now. I think the more clips, I think 9 is a good number. Obviously, if you do like 20, I think that might start coming up as spam. But I think like it's a great strategy. And probably I would experiment just with like maybe we do like 3 or 4 versus like 8 to 10. But yeah, I would experiment a little bit
So make the
in the
case here
number.
is we are potential users of Growth Terminal who the entire success of this thing, it depends on our ability to continue to grow the audience. And um, what is the unique benefit of us using your platform?
So I think for clipping, a lot of video content we actually don't quite support yet. We actually created a feature recently that basically helps you generate images. So you can do text from image, you can edit images, and more importantly, you can search memes. I think that could be like a good angle for 11 a.m. So make it really easy, like to post memes related to crypto. alongside all the clipping. I don't know if that's a direction you would want to go in, but
we're willing to try
a lot of
anything,
what we're
baby.
trying.
Let's grow up. We gotta rock and roll.
I
I'm not
love it.
precious.
And yeah, really trying to like vary it up in terms of like making things funny. So I think that could be like a really good route for 11 a.m. And then if I do actually think that brand accounts should also do replies. Like I think the Pudgy Penguins account does an amazing job of this. They are on every like viral thread, like just posting something funny or relevant to penguins. And we actually will also be introducing a sort of DM module, so making it easy to actually for you to reach anyone you want. So from like, followers of a particular account, people who've commented on a post. And I think that is another strategy is basically like, there's outreach and then there's cold outreach and then there's kind of just like content and replies. And we're trying to cover all of those things.
Yeah, I mean, it seems super simple and basic, and yet I think the challenge is in being able to do it consistently. Like, I think you really see a drop off in engagement if you haven't been consistent every single day. And I think it probably comes down to that there's just less people that have interacted with your posts, and therefore there's a less of an audience for you to get shown to immediately, and yada yada. And it is fucking exhausting, truly. I mean, I don't, it is.
Absolutely.
Everybody I talk to thinks it's exhausting. So I think the idea of being able to automate at the right part of the stack there to make the discovery and make that a lot easier makes a ton of sense. So I don't know why I haven't given it a try yet, but you're going to have a new user here as I'm going to try to go in the path to 100K, sir. Path to 100K, baby.
We're all fighting for it. Yeah.
Andros, appreciate
Are
you
you
hopping
trying
on.
to go on LinkedIn as well? Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I think I did such a big push to try to get to like whatever the minimum number, like 500 followers, so we could actually start live streaming over there. And I think we literally probably have 502 followers over there because I don't think we do much there. But I do think it's, one of I feel like we've got a really great start here with 11 a.m., but it's not quite right. And I think there's a bit of a broader market for us to go after with a little bit of a shift in how we package this up. And so we've been working on that. I think this sort of evolution of the format very much would fit in, or at least would be a great thing to test on LinkedIn. So
yeah, I think so. Consistency is everything on LinkedIn. Like if you post every day, you will get a viral post. I think that is like they are really trying to push you on that. Yeah. But
all right.
but yeah,
and I
if
get
you
a whole
don't
bunch of
post, then
accountants
if
or
it gets
what? The accountants will come in.
yeah. So a lot of sort of accountants and B2B sales people.
Lawyers, B2B sales.
It's an important perspective to have. You have to put your mind in the head of LinkedIn. What would they want you to do? They'd want you to come to your product and post every day, right? So that's what they're going to push.
Yeah, we can spend endless times trying to deconstruct the algorithm, but I think it really does come down to that simple thing there, which is, I think on X, it's like just use that platform to the max, right? I think that's why you see articles working. I think that's why, obviously engagement and replying and stuff makes a ton of sense. And it clearly carries over to LinkedIn. All right, Andros, we're gonna have to leave it there, man. If you are, maybe struggling or desirous of growing your X and LinkedIn accounts faster, go give 0x Andros a follow here. He's posting good tips all the time, and that product seems to be evolving quickly. You guys are continuing to iterate. So I'm going to go kick the tires on it. Send me a link. Send me a link so I can go join the thing easily and I don't forget. All right, boss. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks so much, guys.
Cheers.